In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix common CSV import errors in Airtable, so you can get your data in cleanly and start working with it right away. Whether you're a beginner just opening Airtable for the first time, or you've been using it for a while and keep hitting frustrating upload errors, this complete guide walks you through my personal process for getting the best results every time. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. Before we even attempt to upload a file, we need to lay some groundwork, because the most common import failures happen before you ever click that import button. The very first thing you should do is check your data and file limits. Airtable's standard CSV import has two hard caps that you absolutely need to know about. It can handle up to 25,000 rows, and the file size cannot exceed 5 megabytes. If your spreadsheet is larger than that, the import will either fail silently or just hang indefinitely. The fix here is simple but important. Split your dataset into smaller, manageable chunks. You can do this easily in Excel or Google Sheets by filtering out a range of rows and saving them as separate CSV files. I recommend keeping each chunk around 10,000 to 15,000 rows just to give yourself some breathing room. Next, you need to remove unsupported characters. Airtable can be surprisingly picky about hidden data in your spreadsheet. Things like weird special characters, unmatched quotation marks, or blank rows that contain hidden formatting, like a space that looks empty but isn't, can completely prevent Airtable from parsing your file. A quick way to clean this up is to select your entire dataset in your source spreadsheet, copy it, and paste it into a new worksheet as values only. This strips out any hidden formatting that might cause trouble. Then, visually scan for any rows that appear blank and delete them entirely. It takes just a minute and can save you hours of frustration. Once your file is within the size limits and cleaned of hidden characters, the next step is to format your dates and numbers correctly. This is one of the most common sources of errors I see, and it's also the easiest to fix. Airtable primarily expects dates to be formatted in the ISO standard of YYYY-MMDD. So if your dates look like March 15th, 2025 or March 15th, 2025, you're going to run into problems. The same goes for currency and number formats. If you have dollar signs, commas and numbers, or percentages formatted with a percent symbol, Airtable may interpret them as text rather than numbers, which completely breaks any calculations you try to do later. The solution is to adjust your formatting in Excel or Google Sheets before you export your CSV. In Excel, you can select your date column, go to Format Cells, and choose the custom category. Then type in YYYY-MMDD. For numbers and currency, remove any symbols and just keep the raw number. In Google Sheets, use the Format menu and choose Number, then plain text for dates, or just ensure numbers are formatted as plain number. Then re-export your CSV file. This pre-formatting step ensures that when Airtable imports your data, it recognizes dates as dates, numbers as numbers, and text as text right from the start. Now, if you've checked your file size, cleaned your data, and formatted everything correctly but the import still gives you trouble, it's time to use Airtable's CSV import extension. This is a trick that many beginners don't know about, and it can save you from pulling your hair out. The standard import method built into Airtable is fine for simple, clean files, but it's not very forgiving. The CSV import extension, on the other hand, is designed to handle formatting quirks and data mapping much more gracefully. You can find it in the Extensions menu on the right-hand side of your base. Just click Add an Extension, search for CSV import, and add it to your base. This extension gives you a clean interface where you can preview your data before it lands in your table, fix column types, and even map fields to existing columns. For really large or complex datasets, you might want to go a step further and use third-party automation platforms like Make. Make has dedicated CSV modules that can read your file, format each row cleanly, and push the data into Airtable with full control over field types and error handling. This is especially useful if you're importing data on a recurring basis because you can set up an automation that runs every time a new CSV lands in a cloud folder. Finally, if the import is still hanging or stuck, the problem might not be your data at all. It might be your browser. Browser cache issues are surprisingly common. A stuck import that just sits there spinning with no error message is often caused by cached scripts that are conflicting with the current version of Airtable. The quick fix is to do a hard refresh. On Windows, press Ctrl plus F5. On Mac, press Command plus Shift plus R. This forces your browser to reload all assets from scratch rather than using the old cached versions. If that doesn't do it, try uploading your CSV in an incognito or private browsing window. Incognito mode disables all browser extensions, including ad blockers, password managers, and privacy plugins that can interfere with file uploads. I've seen cases where a simple ad blocker was silently blocking the file upload dialog, and the user spent hours trying everything else. So if you're stuck, open a private window, log into Airtable, and try the upload again. It's a 10-second test that can instantly tell you if the issue is your browser setup or the file itself. Now that you've gone through all these steps, you should have your data imported cleanly into Airtable, ready to be organized into tables, linked to other records, and turned into a fully functional database. The benefit of getting this process right is that you won't waste time chasing down errors or cleaning up messy imports later. As a next step, I recommend exploring Airtable's field types to make sure each column is set to the correct type, like linking a date field to a calendar view, or setting a number field to currency. And if you run into trouble again, just come back to this video and walk through each step one more time. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.